we have learned now that the Packers, not actual meat packers, but the football team known as the Packers, have submitted a revised proposal to ban the tush push. The Packers say no tushy. They want no tushy. The signature play, which helped the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Birds, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagle, and somewhere in Fats in Philadelphia, is slathering oil on himself, screaming, "This is not right!" But, the Eagles, that Super Bowl run, and how many times did they go to the tush push to get that short yardage play? So about a month ago, maybe a little longer, give or take time. What is time? So somewhat recently, the NFL tabled the vote, which is known as a dead giveaway. That is a dead giveaway that they want this thing outlawed. They didn't have enough votes, so they said rather than just say we don't have enough votes, we're going to push it back till we get enough votes. The owners are expected to vote on Wednesday, so this is our Tuesday show. You can do the math on that, and they'll decide the league meetings in Minneapolis, where all the owners will be eating Juicy Lucy's and hanging out there at an airport-adjacent hotel and take care of the league business. So the revised plan by the Green Bay football team would go back to a broader banishment of plays. The language essentially was used from 1920, when a bunch of degenerate gamblers started the NFL, until 2005, when they changed the verbiage. So they go back to that, prohibiting players in the NFL from pushing. No pushing. You cannot push. Keep your hands to yourself. Kindergarten rules. Keep your hands to yourself. You can't pull the runner in any direction under the proposal by the Green Bay football team. Now, given the language in this, again, revised proposal, it would be virtually impossible, based on those that know these kind of things, to have the tush push. You might have to change it to something else, like the imaginary tush push or something like that, but they need 24 votes. We know the Green Bay Packers are going to vote in favor of it because this is their idea, and the Eagles are going to vote against it because that's their play. So it's going to come down to the other 30 teams in the NFL that will decide this. Now, Green Bay's closing argument, if you can call it a closing argument, I thought this was interesting. I wanted to share it with you. So the Packers' closing argument is that they must change the rule for player safety and pace of play. Let me repeat that. Player safety and pace of play. All right, so let's discuss. The question, the Eagles are said to be campaigning right now, today, and they have all day, and then Wednesday's the vote. So the Eagles are campaigning to protect the tush push. All right? So what is your reaction to this one? So I've got Glitch, Styrofoam, and Huey Lewis. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to give you a migraine headache. Because when you actually stop and think about how stupid this is. We need to ban the tush push. Oh, my God. Oh, that's so stupid. All right, so obviously, the NFL, anybody with half a brain knows the league should not ban the tush push. It's dumb to even think about it. The fact that Philly has to right now lobby NFL teams is absurd with a capital A. It's absurd. It is emasculating for the NFL as a business that there's apparently a groundswell of support to ban the play. Like, really? Come on. The play, last I checked, maybe I'm wrong on this, I think it's available for every team in the NFL. Just because your quarterback's a wuss and your offensive line sucks and you can't run the play, why punish the Eagles? And I'm not even an Eagles fan. I hate a lot of Eagle fans. They annoy me. But on this one, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And instead of banning it, I don't know, copy it. How about that? Yes, copy it. Anyway, I realize it is not an aesthetically pleasing play. I understand that part of it. However, it is allowed. It's been allowed. It is a creative stroke that the Eagles and Nick Sirianni put in there, and it does rely on strength and coordination and all of those things. And it's been called a rugby play. That's fine, but it's available to everyone. And the fact that it's so successful and there's no way to stop it becomes the issue here, at least for the Eagles. And for the Eagles, I mean, make no mistake about this, the Eagles have to campaign. Like, they have to save the play. That is the glitch in the matrix for the Philadelphia Eagles, and there is no debate about that. It is the ultimate cheat code for the Birds. For some reason, all these other stumble bums in the NFL, many of them, now Buffalo ran it pretty effectively, but for the most part, the other teams are completely clueless. Completely clueless when it comes to running this particular play. Now, how good was it? We went back through we have a big staff here. A lot of people behind the scenes that work hard. Massive. I mean, if you knew how many people made this show, put the monologues together, the sound that you don't hear because we don't have any, all that. I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, it is just amazing. So the crack research staff here, based on a minutes-long Maller investigation, the Eagles converted the tush push into a first down or a touchdown. 39 out of 48 attempts. So that is a success rate of 81.3%. But wait, there's more, as the great Ron Popeil, the late great infomercial legend, said back in the day. When you factor in situations where the Birds attempted the first attempt, they failed. So they failed on the first attempt of the tushy-pushy, and they followed with another tushy-pushy. So two tushes in a row, two tushes better than one. So two tushes in a row. The very next play, the overall success rate was, wait for it, 97.9%. 90s. Is there anything in life that is 97.9%? There are two things that are 100%, taxes and death. Other than that, there's nothing that is 97.9% in life. But that two-time tush push is that. Now, the Packers' argument, I want to address this because I think this is hilarious. And I thought when I first saw this, I thought, well, this must be fake. You know, another one of these things. You don't know what's real, what's not. Am I getting punked here? Is this some kind of satire? Is that sports talk Barry? So the Packers' argument is that it's for player safety and it's for pace of play. And this is comedy gold, is what it is. And here's why. You have this thing called, and I guess it's kind of new, it's called the play clock. It's a 40-second play clock. And guess what? Philadelphia, when they announced they're running the tush push, they don't get an extra 30 seconds because they're going to push the tush. They don't get that, right? That's it. And as far as the health factor, as my late great-grandfather would say, that's a lot of chutzpah to say that you're going to do this because of health. So we went back and looked. The NFL itself, the league itself, which will lie about anything, the NFL said that they have found no evidence that the tush push is a risk play. There's no additional risk to running the play. That's the league itself saying that. All right, now turn to the page here. So is there anything to the conspiracy that is going around? Yes, there is actually a conspiracy theory about the tush push. Welcome to 2025, my friends. So is there anything to the Roger Goodell conspiracy that he's using the Green Bay Packers to push, if you will, through this plan to ban the tush push? So I'm nodding my head yes. You know, my position, if you've heard the show over the years, is I go on a case-by-case basis. There's certain conspiracies that I absolutely believe. I don't think they're conspiracies. I think they're called reality. This is something I buy into. I'm nodding my head yes that I do believe there's something to this. And every whisper has a source, right? Every whisper has a source here. So if you can imagine me wearing my tinfoil hat here, the whispers that the NFL is using the Packers as a pawn, like they're playing chess here. And here's why. Do you know who the owner of the Green Bay Packers is? Well, it's me. I have a stock. I have a piece of paper. Okay, yeah, you own a piece of stock in the Green Bay Packers. You have no say, though, in what the team does. In fact, no one owns the Green Bay Packers, right? The Packers do not have a single owner of the team. It's the most unique thing we have in American sport, among the industrial complex of American sport, where the Green Bay Packers are publicly owned and listed as a nonprofit. So we get all the finances of the NFL every year. So in the way this works, Roger Goodell doesn't like the tush push. Publicly, he can't trash it because he's the commissioner of the NFL and he's got to support everybody. Privately, he hates it. TV doesn't like it. So Roger Goodell, behind the scenes, and his underlings at the NFL, asking the Green Bay Packers CEO Mark Murphy, who I believe is on his way out, to do the dirty work for the league. Hey, do us a solid. You're leaving anyway, and we need your help on this. We don't want any other owner to look like the bad guy, and we can, you'll be goofed on. So we'll have you do it, and there you go. So, and again, every whisper has a source. Every single whisper has a source. Pretty pathetic, though, to hide behind the styrofoam cheeseheads from Green Bay and using the Packers to do the dirty work for the league. All right, now turning the page. Quickly! We mentioned the Eagles. To the victor goes the spoils. They might not keep the tush push, but doesn't matter. Their coach got paid. Nick Sirianni gets a multi-year lucrative extension. I believe I fired him 7 times on radio and 3 times on the TV show we did last year. Actually, the last 2 years I've fired Sirianni multiple times, but he gets the gig. Extension for Sirianni. So is this a throw away the key situation? Is this a throw away the key situation? Has Nick Sirianni locked down the Philadelphia job for the foreseeable future? As you lock this thing down. So I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Listen, it's at this point, he's got the gig and they won the Super Bowl and rah, rah, rah. But even in the afterglow of that shiny Lombardi, even after that, Nick Sirianni, if he was a stock, he is a highly volatile stock. And the kind of a stock that could deliver you big gains, win a Super Bowl, and easily wipe out those big gains in your portfolio by being a knucklehead. And so that's the issue. Like, I look at Sirianni as like the Huey Lewis and the News type coach there, right? Sirianni's not there for a long time in Philadelphia, but man, is he there for a good time. And certainly, and Sirianni's sideline antics and the total lack of professionalism, which is great for talk radio. Don't get me wrong. As a talk show host, I love Nick Sirianni. He's amateur. He does everything you're not supposed to do as a grown-up, and it's good for talk radio. It's really great. Like, fans heckle him, and he's a pompous a-hole schmuck. And, like, all the stuff you're taught not to do, he does, which is really good for what I do. He bites back. He doesn't keep his composure, right? Emotional outbursts. All that is wonderful for us, and it's fine if the Eagles are winning, and it's not going to last, right? The Eagles, if you look at the Eagles right now, I would argue the success of the Eagles is based more on a byproduct of the talent than it is any kind of amazing coaching prowess of Nick Sirianni. That is the thing. Like the whole trash talking stuff and getting into it with opposing players and the referees and the Eagle fans and all that. Like, that's all fun when you're good. And then when you're bad, it's like, wait a minute, this guy, we got to get somebody else in here. This guy doesn't know what he's doing.